Yo, Nyce.
Yo.
Nyce, I can hear you, God.
You can hear me, God?
Yeah, I can hear you. Now, where your video at?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure this thing out. I don't know how it's...
Here, I just asked you to start it, so you should be able to click it.
Alright, cool.
Oh, shit! It's on and popping!
On and popping. We here.
Yo, so we've been trying to do this shit for like 3 years now, yo.
Yeah. 3 years in the making, but it's finally here. We're finally here now. You know what I mean? The gray matter.
Word. So yeah, we got like 2 minutes. Usually it don't happen this easily, son. Usually it's like I gotta spend 10 minutes fucking walking people through on how to connect and shit.
Yeah. Nah, you know it's 1, 2, 3 with me, baby.
Yo, son, I spent like 4 fucking hours doing research today.
Oh yeah. I've been researching a lot of things to talk about, man.
Yo, son, I went and did a win-loss record for every team prediction.
Oh, word? Damn, you was really working, boy. I ain't do all that now.
I did playoff predictions.
Okay.
I went all in, man. I got notes written on each team, so it's about to be going. And what's funny is I didn't even have to write a note about Odell Beckham Jr. getting shitted on because we're definitely talking about that.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about Odell, man. Yeah.
Yo, it's funny because Pat McAfee is literally the only one who even touched that fucking subject matter.
Yeah, nah, we touching it, man. We touching everything, and it's the cash right here.
Yeah, I'm super hyped, man. We got 1 minute till we finally fucking do this shit, yo.
Yeah, 1 minute left.
Yo, so it's funny because you about to watch me turn on the character, yo.
And the basketball game I just started too. I'm watching that. While the podcast is going.
Oh shit! It's 7 o'clock. It's the first motherfucking episode of the Gray Matter.
Yes, sir. First episode of the Gray Matter, man.
Yo, it's first episode of Gray Matter where nothing is black and white except the host. It is. Yo, I knew you would like that shit. I'm definitely gonna make T-shirts to say that shit because that shit is hilarious to me. It is Joe the Engineer. With me as my motherfucking co-host, Nyce the Future. Yo, we've been.
The wavy one, you know what it is, man.
We've been talking about doing a sports show for years because honestly, I played football in college. It's part of my life. And there's only like 3 people on the planet that I even talk football with, and two of them are the co-hosts of this show with Cary and Nyce. So we've been wanting to do this shit, and since it is 7 o'clock, it is time to roll the fuck up. And somebody play my goddamn theme music.
333 RIPP Don P PhD. Yo.
I got theme music, son. What up?
I said, R.I.P. TV, tell the homie, Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community, that's what P showed me. We lost without the unity, where the fuck is the OGs? R.I.P. P, God bless the real, only for the righteous, the rest will go to hell. Flipping through the book of Revelation, figure it out. Transliterate the translation, do it yourself. It's the last days, life is a test and we in a cage. Concrete jungle, everyday struggle, fuck the pain, I'm on some HNIC shit. A Galleon 3 shit, if you don't know what I mean, you was never G. Real shit, R.I.P. Yo, P, play that beat back, 333. Burn some weed, re-repeat that. Shake me up a tuka pack, break me off a 20 piece. I'm gone, never looking back. Y'all can't talk to me. R.I.P. TV, tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community, that's what P showed me. We lost without the unity, where the fuck is the OGs? Like the weed, play some IMD for me. It's hell on earth for real, but y'all don't wanna see paper trail politics. All the shit was prophecy, strictly for the family. Peace to the prodigy. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me.
Woo! Who else you know got theme music?
Yes, sir. We got our theme music, man.
Yeah, yo, somebody, one of the 333 community members just sent me a record and was just like, yo, man, I made a record about your show. And I was just like, looks like we got a theme song, homie.
Yeah, that's cool. Shout out to, who is it?
His name's Page of the Prince, man.
Page of the Prince, man. Shout out, man. Shout out for the theme music, man.
Yeah, man, you know, it's dope that I got it through the community, too, because I didn't even ask for that shit. So, yo, we talk motherfucking football and smoke blunts here. So, I'm about to light the fuck up.
Yeah, man. You know, light up, do what you do. I
Yo,
usually would have a bottle or something, but I'm cooling today.
Well, I also know that you and Euro are probably going to go do some dumb shit later on that involves lots of alcohol.
You know, cause some battles, do some things, drive some fancy cars, you know.
Oh, yo, and before we get started on football talking, the NFL predictions for this season, because today is Kickoff Thursday. Yo, tell Euro he don't know what the fuck he's talking about, yo, son. I hit him the other day. I was just like, yo, that George Floyd pink runt is all fake, blah, blah, blah. You need to get on that organic wave. And he's just like, yo, you don't be getting no good. I was like, what? I was like,
That's his way of asking you for it.
I know. I was just like, yo, do you know who you're talking to right now? So, it is.
You too, man. What's up, bro?
Yeah, you already know, man. Oh, I see. Oh, you actually wore a shirt?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, I got the Jets shirt on. I'm proud Jets, man.
Wait until you see my season predictions for the not yet, and then we're gonna see how long you keep that shirt on.
I know they we rebuilding right now. We rebuilding, so you know, I take it on the chin.
Nah,
we getting better though.
No, Odell Beckham takes it on the chin, son.
Oh yeah, he takes a lot of it. He's a great guy, man.
Yo, so Nyce. How hyped are you that we're actually having football? Because there was a long time there that people thought that this wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I for one really thought it wasn't going to happen, but once I seen the NBA started back, you know, I said, nah, they got to have football back, man. And, you know, those are two sports that you need in life, man. You need football, you need basketball, man. Those are really physical, man-made sports, man. That's things you need right there.
Yo, so I was telling anybody who would listen at one of my I'm going to talk your ears off moments that you might be able to make people wear a mask, and you might be able to tell them they can't go to school, and they can't go to work, and they can't do anything. But when fall comes around, if you're trying to tell America that there is going to be no football, the Rona's over, man. Yeah. It's over.
It's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. People going to start wilding out if that happens, man.
Yo, it would be... It would be the there'd be the same thing as if you went over into Europe and told them no soccer. Son, they would burn the continent down.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sports is a major part of people's lives. People who really, like, you know, you ever met, like, a real die-hard fan? Like, he lives and breathes sports in his team, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that was me for the longest time.
Yeah, that's me too, man. I'm a big sports fan, man, you know. That's why I'm riding with my Jets, man. You see it. Shout out to the Jets. We're going to be all right this season, man.
Yo, so for those who might be new to the show, it's probably everybody because it's the first time we're doing this shit. I am a fanatical Tom Brady fan. Everyone knows it.
Tom Brady, man. He's going to have a great season this year, too, man.
Nyce will tell you I am not a bandwagon fan. I am hardcore for real. I'm probably the most annoying Tom Brady fan that's walking the face of this earth, to be honest with you. For at least 7 or 8 years of my life, when anyone that I know watched football would call me, when I got off the phone, and Nyce will tell you, I didn't say bye. I said Tom Brady and hung up on you.
yeah, that's a fact. And, like I said, you know, well deserved. He's a good player. He's been talked to being the greatest player to ever play the game. You know what I mean? So, you know, shout out to Tom Brady, man. And he's going to have another season that's going to be ridiculous right now. You know, because the amount of weapons he got on that team right now is just ridiculous. So, shout out to Tom Brady, man. He's on a good season, man. It's coming.
Yo, so whenever the Patriots decided to let Tom go, and you kind of everybody, I mean, you and I talked about it forever. We knew he was going to leave.
Yeah.
He's got that in him to want to like prove that it was him and not Bill.
Exactly, and he's a competitor, man, and you know, it's just like the greats, all the greats, like Jordan, you know, Tiger Woods. They all just great competitors, you know.
So what did you think that me as a Patriots fan was going to do? This is a good question because I didn't even know how my fandom was going to go when Tom went somewhere else. So what did you think? What did you think I was going to do?
What, when he left?
Yeah, you think I was going to be a Patriots fan or a Tom Brady fan this year?
Tom Brady, man. I mean, that's the guy. You got to ride with the guy, man.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, I'll tell a quick story before we start breaking down this season for those who don't know. My older brother, Tony, can attest to this. Probably year 3 in Tom Brady's career, he made a pretty normal play in the pocket during like week 2 or 3, and I called my brother and told him, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback who's ever lived. And he's told me, he's like, you're fucking crazy, yo. And this debate has gone on for the last 17 years. But I proved to be right. Well, I can't say that anymore because Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, he's the best quarterback with the physical traits. When you think about physical traits and the way he throws the football and his mechanics and everything, he's just amazing. But he has to do what Tom Brady has done for me to actually put him in that discussion. He's only won 1 Super Bowl. Tom Brady won 6 of them. And you know how hard it is to win multiple Super Bowls in the league. So that's something that a lot of people got to pump their brakes on. I get it. I love Mahomes too. He's great. You know, it's a lot of quarterbacks that's great. You know, and we're going to see 2 of them tonight, Mahomes and Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, everybody. Deshaun Watson. Ooh, that boy good.
That boy good. You know, and he just got a huge payday, too.
Yeah, but he
was directing a movie, too, pretty much about his life. So.
Yeah, but you know what he did? You know what he doesn't have?
A ring.
Nuke. How the?
And he don't got Nuke. Oh man, that's terrible.
That
was a bad GM move too.
No, we'll get into when we go through team by team. We'll get into the notes that I have for the Texans because with everybody in the NFL, and the NFL above all other sports dictates this: whoever's healthy will be in the playoffs. If you could stay healthy, you got a shot at the end. And
right now, a lot of injuries, man. A lot of major injuries too, man. It's a lot of injuries in the NFL right now. So, you know, and then because of these lack of preseason games and all that, it's gonna be bad, man. It's gonna start off rough.
So, what do you think? What facet of the game do you think is going to be the ugliest the first couple weeks?
The first couple weeks, the pass game.
You think so? I think it's actually going to be special teams.
Special teams is going to be bad, but I think that a lot of players didn't have the connection with each other. Quarterback to the receiver, you know, they got reps in camp, but camp and training camp and actual live games is 2 different things. You know, you and I know that.
Of course, so that already leads to teams that have returning wide receiver and tight end rooms and returning offensive coordinators are going to definitely, at least in the beginning of the year, going to excel. So you have to look at Kansas City to jump out the gates.
Jump out the gate. Kansas City is going to destroy teams.
The Saints.
The Saints been together forever, so they don't even need preseason. They were one of the teams that never needed that because they've been together so long. You know.
Yeah.
You got the Cowboys should be in a good position right now. They should definitely be good because all they did was add another piece to their puzzle.
Yeah, they added a piece to the puzzle in the flashy part, but they lost 2 huge pieces on the offensive line. So now that offensive line isn't 4 Pro Bowlers and the best center in football anymore. It is now 2 of them. and now you have three different people. So that's going to play a huge factor.
It's going to definitely play a huge factor. But when you got a young mobile quarterback like Dak Prescott, man, he's supposed to. This is his year to really show people that he's worth the money that he's asking for. Because he's asking for a lot of money right now.
He's asking for a lot more money than he's worth, and I don't understand why a quarterback is. Oh, now we got some people finally popped in the chat. Buck the President said, "Turn up, Nyce."
Yes, sir. You know I'm in the building, man. The wave guard. You know what it is, man. I'm here, baby.
Yeah. So everybody that I now see is in here, and going forward, I am very active within the chat box. So if you guys have a question, shoot them. We're gonna answer them immediately.
Everybody, man.
So the other thing that I had, there's two other outlying factors that are holding over top of this NFL season in particular. And the first one is going to be players opting out. Non-injury players who are just like, nah, I'm not playing.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest ones is C.J. Mosley, man. That was a big one.
See, I thought the Patriots actually got hit hardest in that because.
Oh no, they definitely got hit the hardest. They had a lot of players opted out.
Patrick Chung, Dante Hightower, they had 4 starters that opted out, and then we also lost. Well, I can't say we anymore. I'm on a Tom Brady hiatus this year.
Yeah,
dude, it's so.
I'm actually rooting for Tom Brady this year too, man. I like the fact that people still counting him out after all these years of him doing excellent things. Like, I never understood that.
All right, so let me ask you this, and I've kind of been saving this topic, and I haven't really talked to anybody about this. You know me as a fervent Patriots follower, all the way down to the front office decisions and the scouts and the lawyers, and I know everything about the team. So, I always had this underlying theory with Bill Belichick and his ego and Tom Brady. So, if you watched and I know you did, and if anybody else watched the NFL's 100 greatest players thing where Bill Belichick and Chris Collinsworth talked about the 100 greatest players in NFL history. And whenever they got to the quarterbacks, Tom Brady was at the table. And Bill Belichick was all over Peyton Manning's nuts, that whole segment. And then every time he would say something about Peyton Manning, he'd be like, well, yeah, Tom, too. And I was watching that, and I was just like, so I had this feeling that since they got Tom Brady in the 6th round, that Bill Belichick has always viewed him as a 6th-rounder. And he has never not seen him as that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a clear statement to that, because if you look at what's going on right now, Bill Belichick let a player like Tom Brady go with his caliber, his resume. 6 Super Bowls is, like I said, it's not easy to win 6 Super Bowls in the NFL. And for you to just throw that away, that's me telling you, like, listen, I don't even need you. I can do this without you. And that's what's been going on. That's why Tom Brady decided, all right, I'm going to show you now that you do need me. Because right now, the Patriots is on their way to a very bad season.
What did you think before all the players opted out whenever they signed Cam Newton for $1 million?
Cam Newton is a great football player, without a doubt about that. But injuries and something happened after that Super Bowl. After he went to that Super Bowl and lost, something about him was never the same. He was never the same after that. Everything was downhill from there. If you look at his stats, everything went down after that Super Bowl. He won MVP and everything that year, but it was just something happened, and then he started getting injured a lot. So he's been out of football for a long time, and without the preseason practices and actual live game, it's gonna take Cam Newton, if he's really focused, it's gonna take him a good 5-6 games before he really settle in and start playing football.
Well,
Those first couple of games,
who the fuck is he going to throw it to, though?
I mean, this is what I'm telling you. Julian Edelman, man, he's gonna have to. See, this is what makes Tom Brady once again a great player. He makes players around him better.
See, that's always the mark of greatness: is do you elevate the people around you?
Exactly. I mean, look at his history of wide receivers. It's only 1 year he really had a loaded receiver core.
Yeah, that's this year.
Well, that's this year.
Because honestly, just because he had Randy Moss does not mean he had a loaded wide receiver room. He just had Randy Moss. He might have also had Wes Welker, but he also made Wes Welker. The Patriots made Wes Welker into who he was.
Yeah, who he was. Remember, Wes Welker came on undrafted by the Jets. And the Jets released him.
Yeah, he played for Miami, and we did the Belichick did a very Belichickian thing, and damn, this guy keeps getting like 6-7 passes on us for like 80, 90 yards in the middle, and he's a free agent. I'm just going to go grab him, and then I'm going to use him.
Yeah. So, that's the greatness of Tom Brady. Now, Cam Newton is not going to do that. He's not going to make people around him better. It's not going to happen. Cam Newton is more a flashy kind of quarterback. He's more the guy that's like, all right, look at me, I'm Superman. He's more concerned about making a touchdown and going like this instead of elevating the team, So they're in for a bad season, and all the opt-outs, Hightower is the heart and soul of that defense. He's not there this season. It's going to be real bad for them.
It is going to be tough.
But Belichick thinks he can do it. He still thinks he can do it.
Now, what's going to happen to the NFL if the Patriots end up winning like 3 games and end up drafting Trevor Lawrence?
I mean, if I was the Patriots, that would be my goal. Because Trevor Lawrence is a baller, stone cold baller. He just needs to get in the right system. He can't come and get with a team like the Bengals or stuff like that. I mean, although the Bengals just drafted, they're promising.
I don't give a fuck. The Bengals are still the only team in the NFL without an indoor practice facility. Are you kidding me? It's 2020 and you're making these professional athletes practice in Cincinnati in the winter outside.
When it gets cold out there, it gets cold out there.
Yeah, man, and Cincinnati is on a river, across the river from Louisville. So what, do the Bengals go over to Louisville University and use their indoor facility? Like, what the fuck is going on in Cincinnati that the Bengals don't have an indoor practice facility? Not even a 50-yard one, not even a half one.
This is why A.J. Green wants out, man.
I feel so bad for him because I thought A.J. Green was the best receiver in the NFL since he walked into the NFL. He's been my favorite receiver in the league since then because to me he is a prototypical NFL wide receiver. He has a perfect combination of size, speed, smoothness, route running ability, and he always catches with his hands, and I love that shit.
Yeah, he's a great player. But you know what they say, when your heart is not in it, what's gonna happen? The passion is not there. The team sucks. He's not gonna keep on going hard for a team that's terrible. He wants out, but he knows, it takes some time. After this season, he's out of there.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's definitely gone.
Yeah,
and
so
he needs to go to the contender.
So as I'm rolling up again, because that's what the fuck I do, I will tell you the story of how Nyce knew that I actually was in football for real. And it was funny because P was out, and I had known Nyce for a long time already. And P had gotten out, and remember, he went to like Modell's to go get something, like the ab machine or whatever. And he was just like, "Yo, you want anything?" And I was just like, "Yo, get a football." And he was just like, a football? I was like, please get me a football. And as soon as he brought it, the look on me and Nyce's face was like dogs at the dog park with a football in their hand. It was like little kids. So we go out on the sidewalk, and Nyce is so hyped that we're like 15 yards apart, and he throws it like 7 feet over my fucking head on the first one, and he's like, "Oh shit, my bad," but he ain't know. He ain't know that I got hands, yo, and I fingertip that shit, and he goes, "Oh shit, you can catch," and it was on after that. Yo, we used to throw our arms out over by that high school.
Yeah, man, we used to throw till our shoulders blew out. Like I was so hyped. That was the first time holding a football in a long time, so I was hyped. I threw that shit with all my aggression.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So, now the football is finally kicked off, and I'm rolling the fuck up. So who you got tonight?
Tonight, it's definitely KC, man. Gotta go with Pat Mahomes on this one. You know, like I said, the Texans, they're a good team, but losing Nuke, man, that destroyed them. But it also gave light to Fuller.
Yeah, but Fuller. See, that's the note that I have though, for them is, can Will Fuller stay healthy? Is that the thing?
That's all he has to do.
So they may have lost Nuke, who by all measures is the best receiver in the NFL, not named Julio Jones.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
And but they did add Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb.
Now, this is what I was getting back to. The Texans is going to be great. They're going to be good because it's going to be a track meet. Anytime Deshaun Watson gets that ball in his hands, the receivers that he has is so fast, including the running back that he has, David Johnson. You know, they're all fast. So, you know, it's going to be a track meet. It's just the problem with that team is going to be who can stay healthy. No,
the problem with that team is Bill O'Brien is the general manager.
Oh, well, we ain't even... Bill O'Brien is completely insane, by the way. He's completely insane. He doesn't... He tries things... He's like a mad scientist just cooking shit up in a lab. He just thinks about shit, and he'd be like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to do it like this.
How much
you know what I'm saying?
How much do you think J.J. Watt has left in the tank?
J.J. Watt is another one. He's a great player, but he's always hurt. We have to see if these guys can make it through a whole season, man.
See, once again, it always comes down to health in the NFL, and now we pivot to the Chiefs. And the main question I have for you, outside of, it's not can they repeat. Obviously, yes, they can. Is will they?
Will they? They have a strong. It's strong that they can, but I don't know, man. I think the Ravens might have something to say about that, man.
I might agree with you whenever we run down the later of the season. So you lose LaShawn McCoy, which they didn't really utilize Shady at all last year. They didn't need to. But they added Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is
a monster.
How did Goodell let that happen?
I don't know, man. It's these general managers, man. They were the last team to pick in the draft that round. Don't you think
that as another GM that sometimes you have to play defense? Like if I were in the Chiefs division and knowing that guy's there, and how good he actually is, why don't just draft him anyway and prevent them from getting him?
Exactly.
And then you can utilize them.
You utilize them. And why won't you stock up on your defense? Because these guys can score in a hurry.
How many points a game do you think they're going to average this year?
About 35.
35?
Yeah, around that. About 35.
I think that in the beginning of the season, since they already have team chemistry and timing and everything already, and then they do have, like, come on, it's Pat Mahomes, man. There's nothing that he can't do. So
and don't forget Tariq the Cheetah Hill.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, man.
He's so fast, it's ridiculous, man. Did you see what he did in the summer?
Yeah.
He raced Terrell Owens, and who was the other guy he raced?
Some guy that was like 40 yards behind.
Yep, he was 40 yards behind them, and he caught up to them.
I think he's the fastest player I've ever seen on grass.
Yes, he is. He is by far. It's no doubt about it, man. He just haven't tapped into his abilities yet.
So, for those of you who've never actually played football, there's two different types of speed. There's speed, and then there's football speed. Because putting those pads on and running in grass while giants are chasing you and you're carrying a football is a little bit different than just straight speed. And there are certain players who, when you get them on the football field, Jerry Rice, Odell Beckham, people like that.
Thomas.
Well, they have what is called football speed, and that speed translates onto the field. Now, what's crazy about Tyreek to me is he has both of them.
Yeah, he has off the field speed and football.
And it actually translates onto the field, which is retarded. He destroys pursuit angles instantaneously. It's just not fair.
Bad. Ridiculous. All he has to do is learn a little bit more about route running, and he started to this all season. That's why he was working with Ocho Cinco and Terrell Owens, and he was around a lot of receivers, a lot of veteran receivers, learning how to run them routes.
You know who
he set up, it's over.
You know who he should go learn from? He should go learn from Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and Akeem. The whole greatest show on turf, because they were all small and outrageously fast.
Fast, yep. But some of these guys nowadays, they don't be wanting to do that.
Actually, I just saw on the Pat McAfee show today that Dante Hall is still Hey, look at you with the adult Capri Sun. Look at you.
No. This is the diva punch right here.
That's what I said. It's a
diva for the punch.
It's an adult Capri Sun, and you literally.
Now I'm about to get wasted.
And it's hilarious because it's diva punch. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Oh yeah. You gotta taste it, man. It's ridiculous. The next show I'll bring you some, so you'll feel how smacked I'm about to feel right now.
Yo, so I believe that if Tyreek Hill can gain the ability, because he is short, and I'm short, so he can do this. But I also used to be really fast, and I know that when you're running at that speed, it's really fucking hard to stop. So, that's where the football. That's what we was talking about earlier when it's football speed and it's regular running. He if he could figure out how to go at full speed and then break down very quickly and go out in any direction or back, it's over, because everyone is going to every corner is going to bail as soon as he starts pressing up to 15 yards, because he's just so fast. You have to. I don't care how fast you are. You're not that fast.
That's what I'm saying. It's just his once he figure out how to run routes and be crafty about running routes, because it's little tricks and things that you can do for separation, but he don't really have to do a lot because he's so fast. Once he figured that out, he's gonna be unstoppable, man. He's already unstoppable. Last season, he outran two safeties in the corner. They played off of him 20 yards.
Yeah.
And he outran all three of them. I mean, that's just amazing. What can you do with that?
Bring back a 22-year-old Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it, dude. That's it. He's too fast.
That's about it.
So the other issue that I wanted to talk to you about with the Chiefs is I've never heard of any of their backup wide receivers. But the question I have for you is, with Patrick Mahomes, does that even fucking matter?
No.
I didn't think
Doesn't
so.
matter. You got Travis Kelce, man. You have Travis Kelce. You have Tariq Hill.
You have Sammy Watkins, everybody. Sammy Watkins.
Watkins. It doesn't matter who else they had. And watch out for Harmon too.
Yeah,
He's another guy that ran a 4.3 at the combine, ridiculously fast.
so much speed. It's so much speed.
It's exciting.
What they're going to end up doing is you're going to see, just as the wave of big receivers caused big corners to become a thing, you're now going to see, because corners have always had to be the fastest players on the field, but you're going to, like, literally, the next Tyreek Hill is not even going to get to play offense. When he gets to college, they're going to be like, no, you're playing corner. Because...
Yeah, I mean, corners is becoming more and more valuable because quarterbacks have become so valuable. So what do quarterbacks do? Throw the ball. You need somebody that's gonna contain that situation.
So do you play fantasy football? Because I sure the fuck don't.
Nah, I don't.
All right, so for those people out there that do play fantasy football, I would recommend that Harrison Buckner, the Chiefs kicker, just draft him. This guy's going to lead the NFL in scoring. The Chiefs are going to put up so many points. It's just going to be a million extra points from this guy. The only question that I did have about the Chiefs, and this has happened to them before, is who the fuck are their corners? I was looking at them today, and I've never even heard of any of them.
Yeah. You see, once again, it's the formula, and the Reid. We're just gonna score on it. The defense, all we need is to apply pressure to the other quarterback. That's why they attack free agency with edge rushers. That's all their focus is. Edge rushing, a couple of good stable players in the secondary, the linebacker is cool, but the edge rushers is going to put the pressure on the quarterback. So that's all they need.
I mean,
once they get the ball, it's automatic score. So you're going to have to catch up to them.
Well, I mean, the only scenario that you could see them losing is 2 years ago in the playoffs when the Patriots beat them by scoring just as many times as them because they couldn't stop them and then ended up with the ball last.
Yep. And like I said, your defense just has to be very good. And that's why I said the Ravens have a legitimate shot.
So I think we're all in accordance, especially with the fact that the preseason was so short. Well, actually didn't even exist. And OTAs didn't exist, and everything was on Zoom meeting. The Chiefs are probably going to fucking win tonight. On this show, in Gray Matter, we are not doing spreads and covers and all that dumb shit. Things are straight up because we play football. We all, and I talked to Cary earlier, who might jump into the chat whenever he gets free. And he definitely picked the Chiefs. I think everybody on the planet is going to pick the Chiefs.
Everybody on the planet. You would have to be insane to pick the Texans. I mean,
I'm not insane because they do have one X factor that you cannot be discounted in any game ever, and that's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. I mean, without a doubt.
He wins games by himself. So.
Yeah, without a doubt. But you and I know it's chemistry. Chemistry has to happen, and with all these, with the COVID and all that going on, like you said, you have to be a team that already have a couple years in together. So that way, it's like you don't need practice. You guys have already know where to go. He knows where you going to throw the ball. He knows where to catch it. That's important. Texans don't have that chemistry. It's gonna look very sloppy that first 2 quarters.
Word. So we'll move on to the next game on the schedule because we're just gonna go through the schedule as a timeline. So the next game on the NFL schedule is Seattle at Atlanta. So with Seattle, it's all about Russell Wilson to me. They did add Carlos Hyde, and Josh Gordon is back because you can smoke weed in the NFL now. Flash Gordon is back, baby, and he's allowed to smoke.
game. Oh yeah, he's smoking a good one, a good loud pack before the game.
And he's in Seattle where it's legal, so he is definitely high. And you know what? It looks like he needs to be high to play. And when he does play well, he's pretty unstoppable.
Yeah, when he's high, he's unstoppable. But don't forget, it's DK Metcalf.
Well, I was going to get to that.
That's my sleeper.
So
my sleeper for here too, man. He's a monster.
You also have to add in that Philip Dorsett has been added. So they're starting 4 receivers go DK Metcalf, which is a matchup nightmare. Tyler Lockett, who seems to literally have a mental connection with Russell Wilson somehow.
Yeah.
Philip Dorsett is added into the mix. So Josh Gordon's not even going to have any pressure on him to perform.
Yeah, it's going to be...
So and then it gets actually even scarier because if you look at their tight end depth chart, Greg Olsen is their starting tight end, but they also still have Luke Wilson and and they have Jacob Hollister. So their offensive skill position, they're absolutely fucking loaded. Loaded.
And you got one of the best quarterbacks to play the game as well, because Russell Wilson is ridiculous. He's a guy that had no offensive line and still produced. You got to be pretty fucking amazing to do that. We switch over to defense, and my man is there, Jamal Adams, baby.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
you know how that's going.
I look at all of their offseason moves, Jamal Adams, Carlos Hyde, Philip Dorsett, Josh Gordon, loading things up at key positions for them. And it looks like they're in all right, we want to win right now. We got...
Yeah. They all into... They have a real big chance of doing that.
So the real question... The real question with them is Pete Carroll's seems like he's a pretty easy coach to play for, and they are in Seattle. And Russell Wilson seems like he's busy getting his hair permed and hanging out with Sierra all the time. So with Josh Gordon now around, and then now you add Jamal Adams, what is this too many big egos and different personalities for a Pete Carroll locker room?
Yeah, well, Pete Carroll likes that type of shit. Pete Carroll is just bugged out himself, so it kind of works. But then, like you said, it's a lot of personalities to deal with. That would be the problem. If everybody put their personalities and egos aside, this team can be very dangerous, man.
Word. So now shifting to Atlanta. The question I had for you is Dan Quinn the new Marvin Lewis?
Yeah, Dan Quinn. I don't know what's going on with Dan Quinn, man. He started off well. He started off pretty good that first year, and then ever since then it's been downhill from there.
So who goes first? Is it going to be Dan Quinn or Matt Ryan's going to ultimately end up getting booted first from that franchise after they underperform for the next couple years?
I mean, you got to go with Dan Quinn. You can't get rid of Matty Ice. I mean, this is a league of quarterbacks, franchise quarterbacks.
So
it's hard to find a franchise quarterback.
Their biggest addition this offseason was Todd Gurley, and I am not excited about that shit at all because Todd Gurley seems like I think he might be permanently injured.
Yeah, he's always hurt. So I mean, this is something that you just gotta, you gotta just. It's like a roll of the dice, man. It's a gamble. His talent is what makes him stick around still. Because he's arguably one of the best at it to ever do it, but he's hurt.
I think his knee is literally permanently hurt. I don't think he'll ever heal. I think there's something wrong that's like a permanent thing, like when Amari Stoudemire got hurt and had that stress fracture. It was never the same after that.
And I think that's what's going on over there, and. It's a sad thing, man, because he was electrifying, man. He was a great player, man.
Well, they do have if you look at their roster, they do have Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. But then behind that, I literally was just like, who the fuck are these people? I was like, wow, this team actually is really going to fucking struggle because all those running backs from that Super Bowl campaign are gone, and now they have Todd Gurley. So if Todd Gurley struggles at all, which they're playing in the dome on turf on a hard surface, that's not going to be good for his knee.
It's not going to be good for me at all. So, Atlanta is going to have ups and downs. They're going to have some games what's going to wow you because, like you said, they have Julio Jones.
Yeah, but Julio Jones doesn't score touchdowns, oddly enough. It's weird.
Yeah, because it is weird. It's a hard thing to actually dissect because Julio Jones is a monster. He's a complete beast of a player. But I don't know, man. They need more. They just need more.
They also, unfortunately, on paper, have the 5th hardest schedule in football, which does not bode well for them. So I think we're all in unison when we say Seahawks on Sunday. So we can move.
Of course.
We can move on to your squad because I know you want to talk about these assholes for a while. So the next game on the schedule is the Jets at the Bills.
Jets, baby.
The not yets and never will be. So I think the Bills have literally just flew right by them in the AFC East, which is hilarious.
I mean, the Bills did it last year. They flew by everyone last year. They quietly put together a even squad. Which, when I say even squad, is the defense is just as great as the offense.
So let me raid on any hope that you have at all because this is fun. So I looked at your wide receiver core. Literally not a single number one in the room. And I honestly don't know if you actually have a number 2. I think they're all 3s and 4s, which is hilarious.
All right, now, it's a rebuilding process with the Jets. You know that. We all know that. We have a couple of cornerstones, so we're building. Denzel Mims is going to shock a lot of people.
No, he's not. No, he's not. The only thing that you got going for you is the fact that it's the New York Jets, and construction here usually does take longer than it should. So you can keep saying you're rebuilding because you've been saying that shit since I've known you.
We rebuilding, man. We had to get rid of the GMs, man. We had terrible GMs for like the past 10 years, man.
The worst.
We've been dealing with terrible GMs. Now, my man Joe Douglas, he's what you call a real GM. Now, what he had to do was he had to get rid of all the mess that they created and start all over. Now, the good thing that he did, that I love what he did in the offseason was...
Oh, please tell me.
The offensive line, which is something that we needed badly. We needed that fixed because Sam Darnold was running for his life.
Sam, I am, was literally seeing ghosts. So the next question I have for you is Sam Darnold broken after that Patriots game?
Nah, he's actually better than he was right now.
All right.
He's gonna show you. He's gonna really right now. He's starting to understand how to read defenses, but he needs time. And hopefully this offensive line can give him time.
I mean, it's a good thing I haven't eaten yet today because your optimism is absolutely palatable right now, and it's also hilarious.
I mean, if you look at the stats when he did have time, he dominated.
Don't use that word. You don't get to use that word.
He did.
You're a rap. No, you don't, because you're a rapper. So you have to you have a skill with wordplay. You don't get to use dominate. You know what that means, and at no point in his professional NFL career has Sam Darnold dominated.
All right, he plays very, very well.
That was one too many varies. Come on, man.
What? He did.
Just because you got 2 chains on doesn't mean you have to say very twice. The shit. He had moments.
Okay, he had great moments because he had time. Every time he didn't have time, he's running for his life. You cannot be a successful quarterback if you're running for your life all the time. It's not going to happen.
All right, so let's temper your excitement a little bit. Knowing that I am a football fanatic, I went through your starting defense. I literally have only heard of one player on your entire starting defense. What do you think about that?
Now, our defense have the same defense from last year. We finished 7th in the league.
Really?
Yeah. We finished 7th in the league. You know, Greg Williams is a mastermind. He'll take anybody and make them. I'm not worried about our defense. It's that offensive line I'm worried about. We need that to happen.
So you want to hear some more bad news about your season?
Yeah.
You guys have the second hardest schedule in football.
Yes, that's a bad thing. They gave us the second hardest schedule in the NFL. That's ridiculous.
And one day we'll have like a team by team breakdown and things, or at least a division by division breakdown on the next episode or whatever. And you will see that the AFC East, their schedule pairings this year are absolutely brutal. And the Jets have a run of like 7 games in the middle of their schedule where they're absolutely not going to win any of them.
Any of them. It's okay. It's a rebuilding process.
All right, so then we move on to the Bills. And to me, the entire Bills season lies in the offensive line's hands because they are going to run the ball, and then they have Josh Allen who likes to run the ball.
Yep, and then they're going to throw deep to Stephon Diggs.
Yes.
Every once in a while. Because they're going to run the ball. That's going to be the first option. And then what they're going to do is they're just going to do a couple play actions.
Well, it's not only that. If they can actually get up on teams, because their defense is loaded. So if they can get up on teams, and now you're forcing teams to throw it because you've eaten up so much clock by just running the ball over and over and over and over again. I did not know, because I kind of stayed out of the sports loop until today, that they added Josh Norman. So now you're looking at Josh Norman and Tre'Davious White as the corners with a D line that is absolutely loaded.
This is what I told you. They're loaded on both sides of the field, offense and defense. They're fully loaded. It's no way that the Bills is not going to make a playoff.
Well, now they're going to win their division because the Patriots are going to have an off year. And the Jets suck.
The Dolphins is rebuilding. The Bills have this division right now.
So this is like the first time in like 20 years that the Patriots are not going to win the division, and the Bills have optimism to like get a first round bye or something like that. But being in the AFC East, the only thing coming up against the Bills is the fact that they have the 5th hardest schedule in football. So the scheduling gods did not favor them, but the rest of the AFC East is so trash that they're going to end up winning the division, and they're going to win against the Jets. So fuck the Jets. Let's move on. Next game on the schedule is nobody wants to see that shit. The next game on the schedule is the Bears at Detroit, and how the fuck did Mitchell Trubisky, money-making Mitch, how did money-making Mitch win that starting job, yo?
Money-making Mitch. Because, man, he's young. He's young. It's like we already invested so much into him. We might as well. We can't just let him sit there. Remember, they actually moved up to get this guy.
Yo, so that's the next thing that I was going to say to you is money-making Mitch. He is the NFL Sam Bowie. Because they moved up to take this asshole, and then the Chiefs behind him took Patrick Mahomes. They literally took Michael Jordan. Yo, he's the NFL Sam Bowie, and he will forever be known as that.
Yeah, because he started off pretty cool. You know, rookie, he's hyped, he was excited to be in the league. Did some out-of-body experience things, you know. And the Bears is a pretty good team. So the next year, when he actually calms down and realized, like, oh, I'm really in the NFL. I'm a really starting quarterback. Reality hit, and when people start game planning for you, also. Because you got to remember, first year...
You could stop all... No. You could stop all that. You don't even have to game plan for money-making Mitch. Let's be realistic here. Let's stop talking about things that don't matter. I think it's an absolute waste of Khalil Mack's career right now that he's in playing with the Bears. And I think...
Extremely upset, right?
I think that Nick Foles must have been playing golf and shooting porn all summer, because how the fuck did money-making Mitch get that job from you? Nick Foles must have not been ready. I don't know what's going on in their locker room.
Nick Foles is the Raja Rondo of football. He don't care about regular season. Yeah, he don't give a fuck about that. Get him to the playoffs, and you'll see magic happen.
Well, then why in the world would you go to Chicago if the point is to get to the playoffs?
Chicago still has a good team.
No, they don't. Shut up. That's terrible. That's a terrible take.
Their defense is good.
No, they're not. They have Khalil Mack. He's really good. Khalil Mack.
Yes, okay. That's all you need.
See, Khalil. I think Khalil Mack is like Slippin' from DMX. He's so good. Like, Slippin' was so good that everybody thinks that album was good, and that album wasn't very good. It's just Slippin' was.
Yes, exactly. That's what's going on with the Bears defense, but it'll work.
No,
it'll work because nobody can stop Khalil Mack.
No, it won't, because they're playing Detroit, and Detroit is a sleeper team and my NFL pick this year, because if they can keep Matt Stafford healthy, and now they have Adrian Peterson in the backfield, they are absolutely loaded on offense. If you look at their... So listen to this.
But Galloway is dealing with an injury, and that's the top wide receiver.
Yeah, I know, but is this a season-ending injury, or are we only worried about the back end of the season and getting into the playoffs?
Yeah. No, I mean, Detroit will make it, but I don't see them going far.
No, but they also have you have Marvin Jones Jr. and playoff Danny Amendola, who always comes up big in big moments. And then
he's the next Rondo of the league.
You have a player that I wanted the Patriots to draft, and me and you talked about this, and I was actually pissed. And he is about to be an absolute breakout star, is T.J. Hawkinson. So their offense is fucking loaded, dude. It's loaded.
Yeah, they offense, and Matt Stafford just got to stay healthy.
So, and if you look at their defense is loaded with ex-Patriots players. There's like 5 of them on their starting defense.
I mean, their coach plays for you guys.
So, I think that the Lions are going to have a very good year, and when we do actually go over our win totals for the season, which won't be on this episode, we will see that I have the Lions probably making the playoffs. And since they're playing the Bears, come on, Lions all day. So let's move on. So next game is the Packers at the Vikings. And I was watching the Pat McAfee show earlier, and Aaron Rodgers seemed awful fucking happy during his segment on there. And a happy Aaron Rodgers is a good Aaron Rodgers. Now, so the question I have from you for that is, outside of Devontae Adams, their wide receivers are literally a bunch of nobodies. Does that matter with Aaron Rodgers, though?
Nah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
He's another quarterback that makes everybody around him better. He don't need a big superstar. He's gonna tell you, just give me good hands. I'll put the ball wherever it needs to go. He's one quarterback that can literally make every single throw on the field. He don't even have to be planted. His feet don't even have to be planted. That's amazing.
At this
he
point,
can throw off of one leg 60 yards.
At this point, he is the best thrower of the football I have ever seen. But Patrick Holmes still has a very long career ahead of him. and the potential. But at this point, Aaron Rodgers still is the only player that I've ever seen in this modern era that uses the nose of the ball to make it dive in different directions like a golfer would.
Direct. Yep.
So it drops in, and it's incredible. He's the only one that throws the football like that. And, I always give credit where credit's due, even if I don't like a player. But Aaron Rodgers is like the Kobe Bryant of football. He's not he has the physical tools to be the GOAT, but his career didn't pan out. One championship, and you don't get – I don't care. You don't get the title. If there's somebody who's got 6 of them and you've only got 1, you don't get the title of greatest of all time.
Exactly. And he's very cocky, too. He's a very cocky motherfucker.
I mean, you can be when you're that good, though. I don't even give a fuck. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just adding it in. I love it, Aaron Rodgers.
So they are playing the Vikings, and I got 2 questions for you about the Vikings. Can Justin Jefferson replace Stephon Diggs? And I think yes, because Justin Jefferson from LSU is...
I've been watching that guy all college season.
Yo,
he is a beast.
Whoever made that draft pick knowing that they were going to end up getting rid of Stephon Diggs and was able to replace him with Justin Jefferson is an absolute genius. And that could end up being one of the GM moves of the year, depending on how it plays out for them.
I was looking like, I'm looking at the draft. I'm looking draft day, and I'm seeing all the teams that need receivers, and I get it. All right. Few teams made a couple of right decisions. A few teams made some wrong decisions. Las Vegas made a wrong decision. They should have took him. He's what they need. He is a what you call a positional receiver.
He's ready to go right now. He's ready to go right now.
Ready to go right now. He's seasoned already. He need a year or 2. He's ready to go right now.
So the question I have for you regarding the Vikings performance last year, did Kirk Cousins make that throw in the playoffs with his eyes closed, or is he there now? Is he like for real? I think personally he closed his eyes and threw it up in the air because
he closed his eyes and just threw it. He closed his eyes. You can see it. The throw, you can tell he just threw it. It wasn't a made up play like he planted or anything. He just threw that ball. You know what I mean? Kirk Cousins is good, but I'm not really a big, huge Kirk Cousins fan.
So their defense, and Mike Zimmer as the head coach. You're talking about a defensive-minded head coach. So their defense is absolutely loaded at the key positions, loaded. But the addition of Unique Ngakwe
however you fucking pronounce.
I thought that was going to be. It's like unique. It's weird. I thought that was going to play really huge, and then Danielle Hunter got hurt and is going to be out for the year. And it's like now he's just a replacement who's not as good as Danielle Hunter at that position. So you didn't really add anything to that. We'll see. It's really all on Kirk Cousins, and it doesn't really matter because I got the pack in that game anyway because Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers.
And Aaron Rodgers finally has a defense. He finally have a defense.
Yeah, so we can move on to a game that we don't have to talk a whole lot about because it's going to be an ugly one. It's Dolphins at Pats. So I do like what Brian Flores is doing down in Miami. I am not.
Yeah, I do.
So here's the question I have for you about Miami is, do you think that Fitzmagic is going to end the season in Miami, or is their terrible record halfway through the year and they're just going to let Tua start playing? Will they trade Fitzmagic for some draft capital next season, or is he actually going to finish out the season? I don't think he's going to finish out the season there.
He's not going to finish the season.
I think they're going to.
The guy, what they're doing right now is they're just easing Tua into the starting lineup. You're not going to throw him out there game 1. You're not going to throw him out there. You let him see, let him witness a couple of games on the sidelines, learn things from Fitzmagic, and then they're gonna book Fitzmagic, sit him down, and then they're gonna start Tua. Like I'll say, like about maybe the 7th game in the season.
That's what I said about it. Depends on where their bye week is. You know, the NFL with their quarterback changes is usually dependent on the bye week.
The bye week. Wherever their bye week is, if it's not early, like if it's not the first week, second week, if it's not the first 4 weeks, yeah, they're gonna do it on the bye week.
So they also have the third hardest schedule. That doesn't help, but they're in full rebuilding mode. So
they're in rebuilding mode, and they have some good pieces, man. They rebuilding pretty good.
Well, I mean, Brian, of all the Patriots coaches that have left the tree recently, he seems to be the one that has actually embodied Belichick's ways the most, instead of just like cutting off the sleeves on your hoodie and, you know, not smiling on the sideline like Matt Patricia and shit. So let's move on to the Pats. Dude, their defense has been so gutted, man. There's so many players not there anymore. Dude, they lost.
People are gonna put up huge numbers against them.
Dude, the Hightower and Chung opting out, and they also lost Jamie Collins, and they lost Van Noy, and they just, that whole defense that was on a historic pace, at least the secondary, was an absolute historic exhibition of defensive football, and now there's like nobody there. And then you go and look at that terrible. See, I'm a Pats fan, but I keep it real. Terrible offensive skill position. Like they're terrible. They might have the worst offensive skill set in football. I mean, I love Edelman because I think Edelman had the career that I wished I could have had as a slot receiver, but he cannot be your number one option.
Yeah. It's just bad, man. You know, you got Cam Newton. You know, Cam is gonna play. He's gonna have moments, like I said, but he hasn't played in so long. You know, it take a while.
So here's
here's
the funny thing that's going against the Pats also, and I think this is the reason why they're pulling some of their legal maneuvers they're pulling with players opting out, is they actually have the hardest schedule in football this year. So look for the Patriots for the first time in the last 20 years to have a losing season this year. But
I mean, Trevor Lawrence is in the wing, so I would do it too.
And I actually... on my game picks, I believe I'll have to go through it later, but I think I actually picked the Dolphins to win this one because I just don't think the Pats have anything.
Yeah, the Dolphins. I picked the Dolphins as well because, like I said, Fitzmagic, he has a streak. He's a funny football player because he will go off. He will start with a streak and he will dominate. You would think he's going to the Pro Bowl.
All right.
Something happened and it just goes wrong.
All right, so A-Buddy Shad, what up, homie? A-Buddy Shad says, let me guess, the Jets will be better this year. No one ever said that the Jets are going to be better than the Patriots, even though the Patriots are going to suck. No one ever, Nyce didn't even say that shit. Nobody said that shit.
Yeah, y'all bashing my Jets, man. Jets rebuilding, man. Shout out to the Jets, man. Shout out to my team, man. We'll be all right.
All right, so the next game on the slate is the Eagles at the Washington Football Club of the District of Columbia, or whatever the fuck they call themselves these days.
That's the weirdest thing I ever saw in my
life. So I want to talk.
They're so confusing. I don't know who are they playing.
I actually want to talk about the Redskins before I even talk about the Eagles. I am happy. It is a feel-good story that Alex Smith is on their roster and playing football again. That's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to Alex Smith.
Yeah, shout out to his.
He's gonna start too.
Hey, probably. Shout out to his doctors for crying out loud. So the real question I have for you about the Washington Football Club of the District of Columbia is, and from this moment on, instead of saying that, I'm just going to call them the Deadskins. So the question I have for you about the Deadskins is, how the fuck does Dan Snyder still own this team?
I don't know, man. It's amazing, man. He has a lot of money, I guess. You know how it goes. He's paying his way to keep this team because their defense is going to be ridiculous, though. But besides that, I mean, Alex Smith, you're going to put him as the starter. That's not going to really be good. Haskins going to come in. That's not really a great replacement. Like, he's not going to be the savior. He's going to have his little moments where he flashes.
Yo, so this is a funny. I know you're gonna love this one. So in Trading Spaces with those two old white dudes bet $1 about they could flip Eddie Murphy's life and Dan Aykroyd's life around over $1. So this is what happened. This is what happened like 10 to 15 years ago that nobody knew, and I had this vision in a dream, and it has to be a reality because I remembered it. So like 15 years ago, James Dolan and Dan Snyder were sitting in a bar having a drink, and they bet $1 to see who can ruin their professional franchise the most over the next 50 years or whatever, because Dan Snyder is literally the James Dolan in the NFL. What the fuck is going on? Like, how does he even have, especially after all the scandals, how does the league not forced him to sell yet? You got him and Jay Gruden on tape and whatnot, like banging chicks together, going to orgies and whatnot, and then flying out they were flying out the cheerleaders to promotional events to season ticket holders and whatnot, and like holding them hostage and holding their passports hostage and making them like, dude, they's basically pimping out their cheerleading squad to their season ticket holders and whatnot. And this guy somehow still has ownership of this team. It is incredible. Not only does Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron, have his work absolutely cut out for him in that place because they are perpetually terrible. Now he has cancer. So I don't think Washington is going anywhere. And the only thing they have moving for them is they have the fourth easiest schedule in the year. But even with the fourth easiest schedule, they are terrible. Their organization is in shambles. And I think with my season predictor, I actually only gave them one win because I don't think anyone's going to lose all 16 games this year. And I have them going like 1-15 because they suck.
Yeah, they suck. And another bright thing they have for them though is Chase Young.
Yeah, they're in full. They are rebuilding from square one, and square one will actually be when they get new ownership. Then they can rebuild for real. So
that's the only time you can rebuild a team. You have to get rid of all the nonsense.
So the team that they're playing is actually the Eagles, and if they can stay healthy. The sky's the limit for them. Their coaching staff is absolutely incredible, but their medical staff fucking sucks, yo.
Their medical staff ain't shit.
Yo, man.
I don't know if they're taking the medicine themselves, they're not giving it to the players. I don't know what's happening. Everybody is hurt. It's ridiculous. Alshon Jeffrey's been hurt for like 4 years now. This guy has never been 100% for like 4 years. Even when they won the Super Bowl, he wasn't 100%.
Carson Wentz, everybody keeps getting hurt there. Their trading staff fucking sucks, but they are playing the worst team in football in my view. So they're going to blow them out. So we can move on from that trash fire of a game and go on to what I think is hilarious to even say is the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Panthers. I think it's so dope that they're in Vegas. The Raiders are like the literal perfect team to be in Vegas. So this is the one thing I want to talk to you about the Raiders. So the move to Vegas, what's going to end up happening? It might not really take effect this year because of the Ronny Rone, but once the world is out of lockdown and Las Vegas is back to being Las Vegas. So a couple years ago, Nyce, the NHL added a team in Vegas, and the very first season, they went like to the Stanley Cup Finals because they had the best home record in the NHL. You know why? Because all those visiting teams were coming to Vegas, and they were all fucking living the Vegas life.
Yeah, it's a party. You cannot. You would have to be completely focused to play in Vegas. You have to be. Remember, Vegas is open 24/7, man. It's everything. You have everything going on there.
Well, I think the good.
24 hours.
I think the good thing.
You're not gonna be focused.
I think the good thing for the actual Raiders themselves is eventually the city itself will have a way of weeding out the players who can't handle being there. Like, it'll be easy to get rid of those players. So eventually they're going to be able to build a roster of players that being in Vegas is not going to bother them. And then it's going to be the visiting teams that it's going to bother. So they actually, in the future, if they can make some proper roster moves, are going to be very, very dangerous in the regular season.
Yeah, they got my boy Henry Ruggs over there, man.
I was just about to say, we are about to see how fast Henry Ruggs really is, because that motherfucker is fast, dude.
That dude is fast as hell, and he got great hands, and he's strong too.
So the only other question I have about the Raiders is, does John Gruden actually want Derek Carr there, or is this it for this will be the last year of that nonsense?
Yeah, that Derek Carr is out of here. He's so on Marcus Mariota's nuts that Derek Carr is out of here. He talks about Mariota way more than Derek Carr.
So they're playing the Panthers, and it's Teddy Bridgewater's team now. The wide receivers are okay. Yeah, but I don't think he's good enough to make second-tier wide receivers better, and that's going to be their problem. But they do have... They have Run CMC, and that guy's incredible. Like, you're getting 2,000 yards and like 20 touchdowns out of him every season. Hey, he's incredible.
And what does Teddy Bridgewater excel in? The simple things.
Checked out.
He excels. This is the perfect team for Teddy Bridgewater. When he excels with the Vikings, he has Adrian Peterson with him. It's easy.
No,
all you got to do is feed him the ball, play action. Teddy Bridgewater is one of the best play-action quarterbacks ever. So, it's perfect. It's perfect.
That is a good marriage, and I probably picked the Raiders in this game. I don't know. I'll have to look at the game picks.
I'm going with Carolina.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like it. So the next game on the schedule is the Colts and Jags, and I think the Colts is going to be funny because they got Phillip Rivers now. So it's like,
yeah, they got Phillip Rivers, right? It's weird. It's like I would never thought I would have seen Phillip Rivers in that uniform, but here we are.
They do have the best offensive player that's not a skill player in football by a mile in Quentin Nelson. So, and they did draft Jonathan Taylor, so I imagine Jonathan Taylor's probably going to have a pretty successful rookie campaign because they are playing on turf and their team is fast.
Oh yeah, the Colts is gonna have a great season. They're gonna dominate. T.Y. Hilton is finally 100%. He said it. He said he can't even sleep. How excited he is right now.
Yeah. So what I liked about the Colts, and I have them possibly being a sleeper team this year, is the additions that they have on defense to an already pretty competent defense. Is they added Xavier Rhodes, Justin Houston, and DeForest Buckner. So that was a pretty big addition. So, and they're playing the Jags, who I don't even actually want to talk about.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about them. I mean, if you watch football, you would know the dumpster fire that's going on down there. It's like they're burning everything. The Jags don't even exist. They might end up with the worst record in the league.
No, they're not going to, because I looked at their roster and their wide receiver room is actually pretty fucking dope, man. So DJ Chark is going to get busy, but here's the funny thing. They got Keelan Cole, D.D. Westbrook, and that rookie Chenault Jr. So the other thing that I like about the Jags and what's going to win them at least one or two games is Uncle Ricky at quarterback. You see that mountain over there? I bet you I can throw that football over that mountain. That's who they got at quarterback, son.
He looks like what's the porn star? Ron, what's his name? He looks just like he came like he's doing porn or something, like Magnum PI or something.
Yo, that shit is
Hollywood superstar.
That shit is hilarious, but you cannot deny that on the field, this guy makes plays, man.
Oh yeah, that mustache he needs to get rid of, but besides that stash, he can throw that rock, though.
You don't see the mustache when you got the helmet on, though, Nyce, so it's all good, man. We already know the Colts are going to blow out the Jags. That's not even going to be a game, so fuck the Jags. They're not going to go 0-16, though. But eventually, I think before we move on from that, the only thing that I will say is I think that the only thing in the Jags front office mindset, because they got Sadiq Khan as the over, or whatever his name is they're actually going to try to move to London in the future. So once the Ronny Rone is over, look for them to move out of the country, because the NFL is constantly trying to expand worldwide like the NBA did. So let's move on to a game that's worthy of talking about. It's the Browns and Ravens.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
So
that's a game.
Now that Freddie, I couldn't even manage a kitchen, is out of there, and they have another regime change for the third time in Baker Mayfield's career already. Their roster is absolutely loaded, and I think this is one of the teams that's going to benefit from not having fans more than anyone, because Odell Beckham during the game is not going to have to see people holding up poop emoji signs and shit like that, because apparently, if you guys didn't know, Odell Beckham likes to get pooped on, and he likes dirty girls.
He likes girls who wear like panties for like 24 hours before he smashes and shit. He's kind of weird, man. That's really dirty, man. I don't know what's going on with Odell, but he been like kind of bugged out anyway.
Yeah, but you know what? He's like an artist who's fucking on drugs and weird, that goes out and just like performs on the field, because he's incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
he is incredible.
His hands is like he put glue on his hands.
See, if Tyreek Hill hung out with Odell Beckham and learned how to run routes, then he might end up being the best receiver in football, because Odell Beckham's ability to stop and go in space is incredible.
It's ridiculous. And his hands is like it got glue on it.
Their offense. So their offense is loaded on both sides of the ball. They have Myles Garrett. Dude, listen
Myles Garrett, the monster.
Listen to their listen to their front four. You got Myles Garrett, Sheldon Richardson, Olivier Vernon, and Adrian Claiborne.
Yep.
That's,
oh my goodness. And they got Greedy Williams. Don't forget Greedy in the back.
And Denzel Ward too. So
Denzel Ward. They locking you down.
They are absolutely loaded, and it does help them that they have the third easiest schedule in football. So I look for the Browns to possibly sneak into the playoffs as a wild card team, because they're not going to win their division, because in their division is a team that they have to play this week, and that's the Ravens. And the Ravens, to me, so the question I have for you is, could you imagine how terrible the Ravens would be if Lamar Jackson got hurt? Their entire organization, from the head office all the way down to the water boys, are built around him and his skill set.
Yeah. I mean, that's why a lot of people were shocked when they got rid of Flacco that fast. People were really doubting the scenario, because they saw what they saw. They saw and they knew what they had in Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is different, man. He's like, you ever played Madden and had to build a player?
Yeah.
He's like that. You know how these kids will cheat and they'll build a player and just raise all his ratings to make him real fast and elusive and all that. That's what it's like with Lamar Jackson, man.
So they have RG3 at backup, and the question I wanted to ask you is, if you're RG3, how many hundreds of millions of dollars do you sue Dan Snyder and Mike Shanahan for ruining your career?
I'll sue them for billions.
Exactly. They actually ruined that man's career, and that's how terrible that organization is.
He actually was the first Lamar Jackson.
Dude, he was incredible, and they put him in a playoff game with a torn ligament in his knee, and he got hurt again, and then he's never been even close to the same. And
he's never been the same.
So the thing with the Ravens, right? So they have actually on paper the easiest schedule in football, which is hilarious, right?
Which is crazy, because Lamar Jackson won the MVP. I never understood that. Why would you give him an easy schedule? All you're going to do is make him win it again.
So the thing that I wanted to ask you is, it seemed to me that they're relatively easy schedule, because they kind of just blew teams out, because teams aren't built to defend against what they are. this year teams will be a little bit better prepared to play them, but teams just weren't built for that. But they had a really easy schedule based on they would get up early and blow teams out, right? So then they got into the playoffs. They got into a hard game, into a fist fight. They ended up losing to the Titans, right? Mm-hmm. So is the easy schedule, do you think that's going to hurt them again? Because clearly this team's going to make the playoffs. That's almost a foregone conclusion if everyone stays healthy.
It's not going to hurt them because one thing I like about Lamar Jackson, he's never satisfied. If you listen to all his interviews and everything he says, he doesn't care. He won the MVP. He said, "Listen, I don't even care. I ain't win the ring. I won MVP. That's cool and all. That's something cool to achieve. But I ain't get the championship." Every interview he's done so far, he's been talking about, "I don't care about none of that. I don't care about being the only one setting these records. I ain't winning the chip. I want the chip," and that's something that's going to keep him. That's the reason why I say this team is going to be all right.
Well, the Ravens are going to win anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
So the next game on the schedule, and this is an intriguing team once I looked into them, to me, is the Chargers at the Bengals. So to me, what's funny about the Chargers is they are going to be more prepared to play in front of no fans than any other team in the league because their stadium for the last 2 years only held 30,000 people, and they couldn't even fill that halfway. So
it's not going to matter. It wasn't going to matter with them anyway.
So here's the issue with the Chargers. If Derwin James would not have gotten hurt, that defense, it was absolutely loaded. I had no idea how stacked they are because Joey Bosa's probably going to put up 20 sacks. But the X factor to me on their roster is Desmond King playing at slot corner and returner.
Yep, he's a monster.
So if you have Desmond King playing at your slot corner, that means your two starting corners are incredible. So if Derwin James would have been there, that team was actually surprisingly loaded. Now, the only issue, and it's not really an issue, but in order to win and be actually successful in the league, you cannot have Tyrod Taylor at your starting quarterback. So I don't know if Justin Care Bear is any good. That's his name is Air Bear or something like that. So it's Justin the Care Bear. I don't know if he's any good. I know his hair is incredible. But that doesn't really do anything in the NFL.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's all right. Like I said, he's gonna take over the job soon, Joe. It's just the same thing that's gonna happen down in Miami is gonna happen there. Tyrod Taylor is never gonna take you to the promised land. Everybody knows that, but you need him to start. These quarterbacks, they don't want to throw these quarterbacks in the fire like that.
Well, they are. The Bengals are about to throw a quarterback into the fire.
Oh, well, I mean, they're dumpster fire, so they have no choice.
So how many?
When you're dumpster fire, you need something.
So how many times does Broadway Joe get sacked this year? Does he reach 50 sacks? It might be 40. He might get sacked 40 times.
Yeah, he's going to get a sack a lot because what is going to happen is he's the number one pick. He's starting. This is his team. They labeling him the savior, everything. He put up incredible numbers in that year in college, but it was only 1 year, one season. He's going to have a real hard time. With the way how these defenses is going to be coming at him. See, that's the thing. In college, he didn't witness the defense that's about to come at him now. No, it's grown men coming.
He played in the SEC. He did witness the defense he's about to go right now. What he did not witness is this terrible offensive line that's going to be in front of him because he played at LSU, and he had an NFL caliber offensive line at all times. The Bengals offensive line is trash, so I don't look for them to do too well this year, but he has the attitude and the demeanor that a down year in his rookie year, I don't think it's really going to bother them. So They have a pretty easy schedule, but they're going to fucking suck. Come on, son. You don't have an indoor practice facility. That's fucking retarded. I do look for the Chargers to possibly sneak into the playoffs, depending on how things shake out. So I'll look for them to beat the Bengals. So now we get to talk about the game that I want to talk about the whole time, and it is the game of the week. It's the Bucs at the Saints.
Oh my God! I did not even realize that matchup came already.
Yo, I didn't even really honestly, Nyce, I didn't even really write that many notes about this one because it is the Bucs, and since Tom Brady is on the Bucs, I'm all about the Bucs this year. Go Bucs. But honestly, the only note that I wrote was I expect both of these teams to make a deep playoff run, and it doesn't matter who wins. This is just it's early season. It's really maybe some playoff positioning versus head-to-head wins and losses that'll come into play at the end of the year. But these are two heavyweight teams that are built to win right now, and they are going to be in the equation at the end of the year, and I fully expect it. The Saints, the only question I have about them, and it's happened the last these heartbreaking losses in the playoffs have had to break in their psyche. But the thing that intrigues me the most about the Saints is, can Drew Brees' arm and shoulder hold up for an entire season? Because the last couple years, his arm got really weak at the end of the season, and it really, really hurt their offense.
Yeah, it became linguini.
He got the linguini arm, yo.
Yeah, he caught the linguini effect late in the season. But he knows this team so much it doesn't even matter. Drew Brees can literally play this game blindfolded. He can literally put a blindfold on Drew Brees, and he knows exactly where his play is going to be, where he's got to throw to, where it's going. That's just it. But Tom Brady is on a mission. He's on a mission, and that team is completely loaded.
So I watched. So you want to hear something scary? I watched a practice video from the Bucs, and Gronk looked better than he's ever looked.
Yeah, because he's actually happy. The system is ran by them now.
Well, it's not only that, he's about 30 pounds lighter. He's not even close to being as big as he was, but his legs and his movement look better than ever. So,
you know how that's going. Right now, that offense is being run by Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady is telling them what to do, where to go. Yo, I'm going to throw this here. You be right here.
So,
be right here, and the ball is coming to you.
So with these two teams, the lack of fans is going to affect these two teams the most, but for opposite reasons to me. So with the Saints, I think they have the biggest home field advantage because it is so loud in an enclosed space. And their fans are almost like the Colts fans used to be when Peyton Manning was playing, and when they're on offense, they just shut the fuck up. And when they're on defense, it is loud as fuck in there. So having it being quiet in the Silver Dome, or in the whatever their dome is called, I don't even remember, I'm high, is going to be really fucking weird. Like, it's going to be weird. I know they're pumping in crowd noise, but 70 dBs of crowd noise is like you running a vacuum yourself. That's not that loud at all. So on the exact opposite side of this, I think the lack of fans, who it's going to benefit the most in all of football, is the Buccaneers, because now you're giving Tom Brady the ability to go to the line of scrimmage and openly communicate with his entire team with no noise. And who is better in the history of football at making decisions at the line of scrimmage besides the GOAT? So there's going to be no noise, dude. They're going to be able to openly communicate, and it's going to be insane. You're even going to be able to hear Arians off of the sideline yelling. So they are going to benefit more than anybody, especially early on, about the lack of crowd noise. So the only question I have for these two teams really is not even about this game, is which one's going to win the division. That's what really matters, because then you're looking at playoff seeding, because there is 3 wild card teams this year. So that means only the first playoff team, the number 1 seed, gets a bye. So you're looking at which one of these teams is really going to win the division. And once again, the NFL always comes down to health. So who's healthy at the end of the year for these teams is which one is going to win this division. And me personally, I can't fucking wait for this game because both of these rosters are absolutely loaded. They're both going to be fast as hell, and they're both just going to put up points left and right. It's the Superdome. So anyway,
it's gonna be ridiculous, man. It's gonna be ridiculous.
So the next game on the schedule, we only got a couple left, and we should be able to sneak these all in before kickoff. Is the Cardinals at
the game started already.
Well, we'll get to it. We only got a couple left, so the Cardinals at the Niners. The Cardinals, from all reports, add a nuke to the equation. And their offense is built to run at full high-speed octane. They are literally going to wear teams out left and right. So the question I have about the Cardinals, and the only thing that I'm actually looking forward to, is are they just going to let Isaiah Simmons do whatever he wants? Because he can.
They better. If they want to win games, I mean, that's the objective. You pick this guy because he can do everything. He's like a Swiss Army knife for real. He can play linebacker. You can even put him as a corner.
Dude, he's incredible.
Ridiculous. He's just ridiculous. And their offense is going to be crazy. San Francisco got too many injuries right now.
They're going to have a Super Bowl hangover. Their D is tough, but they do have the 4th hardest schedule. And I actually look for the Niners to have such a fall off that they don't even actually make the playoffs. Because if you look past George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, there is really nobody on their offense. So we can move quickly on to the Cowboys at the Rams. Fuck the Cowboys. Next. So we talk about we don't talk about the Cowboys. I fucking hate the Cowboys. I hate Dak Prescott. I hate every player on their team. I hate their coaching staff. I hate their logo. I hate Jerry Jones. I hate everything about them. Fuck them. So the only question I have about the Rams that I want to ask you is, how many $100 million contracts can the Rams keep giving out? Because they just gave Jalen Ramsey $100 million.
It's weird. Like these guys. I don't know where all this money is coming from, but they keep giving them out.
So the roster.
And, shout out to Khalid too, man, for retiring. That was a great football player, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He retired 2 days ago. Shout out to Talib, man.
Yeah, because
he had dramatic, man.
Yeah, the Patriots, Bill Belichick reached out to Talib to see if he would come to the Patriots. He's like, nah, bro, I'm retired, because the Patriots are going to fucking suck this year.
Yeah, shout out to the chain snatcher.
The chain snatcher. So they do have Aaron Donald, which is like... It's like having Shaq on your team, but this team to me is doomed because of bad roster management. They're going to have they're going to have to pay the rest of their roster peanuts, which means they're all going to suck. So my question for you about the Rams is, who loses their job first, Sean McVay or Jared Goff? Because Jared Goff got $100 million and whatnot, and Sean McVay, if they go have a couple seasons where they only win like 5 or 6 games, he's going to get fired.
Yeah, if I was a GM, I wouldn't get rid of McVay though. I'll get rid of Goff before I get rid of McVay.
Exactly. I think his contract was a mistake, and I actually look for the Cowboys to blow out the Rams. So fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah, he actually made Jerry Goff good.
So then
Goff, remember how terrible he was?
Then we got the Steelers at the Giants, and I wish Cary was on in the chat because the Giants is his team, and I want to eviscerate the Giants because I fucking hate the Giants.
Jets is better than the Giants.
So the question, the question with Pittsburgh, because they actually had a really good season last year, and they had fucking Duck Hodges at quarterback, is how healthy is Big Ben's arm going to be? He did give up watching porn and jerking off, so I guess his elbow did get a lot less traction than normal. So
it is up to par there. So they're gonna annihilate the Giants. And by the way, the Chiefs scored already.
Yeah, look at that. The Chiefs scored already. I'm not even surprised. So the Giants, I hate the Giants. They do have a pretty good receiving core, but I hate Danny Dimes. So, and their defense sucks, so I do look for Pittsburgh to win that game. Then we got the Titans at Denver. I think Denver's going to suck, and they do lose Von Miller for the year, and that is going to absolutely suck.
Absolutely suck. One thing though, what's that team? What's the team they playing again? Who Denver playing?
The Titans.
Yeah, the Titans is going to be pretty good, man.
The Titans are going to win their division, and they do have Jadeveon Clowney added into the mix of their defense.
Yeah.
So
along with Big Beasley too.
Yeah, I look for them to be really good because their offensive line is really good, and they're going to run the ball with that gladiator Titan monster of a human that they have at running back of all places.
Yeah, he's like a linebacker / running back. This nigga Henry he's a real beast, man. Oh, Henry.
So the funny thing about the Broncos is John Elway's been a pretty terrible GM the last couple seasons. But if you look at their skill positions this year, they've added Melvin Gordon with Phillip Lindsay at running back, so they probably have one of the best running back tandems in the league. And they drafted Jerry Jeudy and Noah Fant, added to Courtland Sutton. So to me, it's all about.
And don't forget KJ Hamler too. He's pretty dope too.
Yeah, see, so it all depends on the offensive line. Can they give Drew Lock the ability or the opportunity at least to excel and show his ability? They actually have a really bright future, but we're not talking about the future. We're talking about right now. The Titans are probably going to destroy them.
Yeah.
But like I said, the future for them does look really bright. But the Titans are a very big and physical team, and the NFL is not built for big and physical, so they automatically have an advantage over everybody because they're just going to bully everybody.
Yes, both ends of the field, defense and offense.
Now they would almost have to play a perfect game in order to beat the Chiefs because the Chiefs can score instantaneously, but the Patriots have shown that it can be done multiple times. You have to take the ball out of his hands, and you can do that with Derrick Henry and that offensive line and whatnot. And then the defense, it all comes down to the secondary because when you're talking about teams like the Titans and teams that are in the Ravens and things like that, it's not what are they going to do, it's more what are they going to do when they get to the playoffs. So it's looking at like, who cares about the regular season? Just handle your business and build your roster. So and I know Mike Vrabel is going to approach the regular season like Belichick does. So it's really about what are you going to do when you get to the playoffs. And when you could get to the playoffs in the AFC, at some point, if you keep winning, you're going to have to play the Chiefs. So can Ryan Tannehill play a good enough game to beat the Chiefs? I don't think so. So
I don't think.
I do look for them to beat the Broncos though, but the Broncos do have a bright future. That is the whole entire week's schedule. So I'll just go through my game picks real quick, and then we'll wrap this the fuck up so I can start watching football. So I picked the Chiefs, which I know you did, the Seahawks, which I know you did, the Lions, the Packers. I picked the Dolphins. We both picked the Dolphins to beat the Patriots. I picked the Eagles, the Raiders, and the Colts, the Ravens, which we all did. I don't know if you picked the Chargers or not. I actually picked the Saints to beat the Bucks because it is week 1 and it's just just feel it out. The Saints have been together for years and the Bucks haven't, so it's going to be. I look for the Saints to pull that one off.
Drew Brees played this game blindfolded.
Yeah, I actually have the Cardinals beating the 49ers because I think the 49ers are going to fucking suck.
49ers, they banged up too much right now. They banged up. People don't play. It's terrible.
And then I actually have, this is funny that I did this, I have the Cowboys, of course, and the Steelers, but I actually, in picking my game week, I'm so funny that I did, so I actually picked the Broncos to upset the Titans in week 1 because because there's going to be one. There's going to be one that doesn't make sense. And it's in Denver, so the elevation change and the lack of conditioning in the preseason and whatnot, I think is going to have an effect.
Since Jerry Jeudy excellent.
And since Tennessee is a very physical team, I feel like this might be the one team that's could run out of gas in Denver, and it is week 1, so they could get slips up. So that's the reason that I picked that one. We made it. This was the first episode of Gray Matter, where nothing is ever black or white except the fucking host. We will be doing this on Tuesdays. This was just a kickoff schedule. We'll pick a time. I don't know, Nyce. We'll talk about that shit and figure it out. It really doesn't fucking matter. And then, we'll cover all of week 1's games and results, and then talk about division winners and possible playoff teams and things of that nature. And that'll be on Tuesday, so we'll actually see everybody just in a couple days. But for now, I'm going to go watch Kansas City beat the daylights out of the Texans and roll a couple balls.
Oh, they took away that touchdown, by the way, so it's still zip right now.
Yeah, well, whatever. So they did that because I haven't
turned. The first two quarters, I told you, is gonna be miserable. It's gonna be rusty. Like Mahomes just missed a wide open throw that he normally would have never missed. So
maybe it's not Mahomes missing the throw. Maybe it's the wide receiver missing his timing. See, it's the little things like that are going to be the most effective, because Mahomes throwing the ball is such a muscle memory. The receiver's timing, especially early in the season without reps and whatnot. And I'm telling you, the conditioning is going to be the biggest factor early in the season, because it takes a while to get into football shape. That's why you're in camp for a month before the season starts.
Yeah, and you do preseason and all that to get yourself in order. But all that was kind of cut short, and so it's gonna take a while. The first couple games is gonna just be toss-ups, really.
Word. So we will see. We are going to keep a running tab on this show of the entire football season picks. We're not just going to pick games of the weeks like all these assholes do. We're going to pick every single game of the season and see who's really got a grasp on this NFL season. It will be me, Nyce, and Cary. Cary will join us on Tuesday, I imagine. Until then, shout out to everybody coming through for the first episode of Gray Matter. As always, this is 333 TV, RIPP, and we will see y'all.
RIPP, you already know, man. Probably you know what it is.
Yeah, we'll see y'all on Tuesday, man. Nyce. You ain't nice, God.
You ain't nice, God.